Hey guys! So if you've been following my channel, you know I've started a new series chronicling my journey learning how to make the kind of coffee I like at home. And I'm not a coffee snob. I like sweet, girly drinks from Starbucks and Dunkin' and preferably the local places because I like to give my money to local businesses. But I've been trying to make those at home, which usually involve espresso, frothed milk, and some kind of sweetener. Um, so, just to cut it very short, after trying to make espresso shots with the Keurig in order to make lattes and macchiatos and stuff like that, I realized you can't get anything remotely approaching espresso with a Keurig. Posted on Facebook, said, hey, what do you guys use to make espresso at home? And a lot of my friends said, oh, I have an espresso. So I bought one of those, and you see I've got lots of videos about that. And got that. Had some trouble getting going with that, and then posted on Facebook again, and several of my other friends were like, why did you bother with an espresso? What you should have got was a Moka Pot. And I'd heard of a Moka Pot, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was used exclusively to make mocha, which is, you know, hot chocolate with coffee in it, or I didn't know anything about it. I'd heard of it. And I went and looked into it, and surprisingly, it's not like a new trendy thing. It's been around for over 50 years, originally from Italy, and they're very inexpensive. You know, I've got two here. We're going to talk about them and compare them in this video. But the two that I have are, one was like 20 bucks and one was like 40 bucks. So, let's talk about what it is first. So this is a Moka Pot, and it's just a very small aluminum. They make some stainless steel ones as well. Essentially a coffee pot or a kettle. It does not have any sort of internal heating element. You sit it on a burner, and some work better on electric burners than others. They're designed more for gas. I've had no issue using mine on an electric burner. And I've heard there's such thing as an electric Moka Pot. I've never tried one. I did a little research into it and wasn't able to find enough to, you know, really look into it. So there's a chamber in the bottom, and it's kind of like an upside down coffee brewer. So there's a chamber in the bottom, and there's water in it. Mine actually has a little bit of water from me washing it out. And you fill it up, and there's a fill line. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Yeah, you can. It's the line right below the valve there. You fill it up to the fill line, then there's this filter. You put the filter in, and you fill it with grounds. You don't pack it too tightly. And then there's the second part to the filter there on the bottom of this. And then as the water heats up, the pressure from the steam will push the water up through the filters, through this valve, and you get coffee in here. So it has more pressure than a traditional drip coffee maker, less than a proper espresso machine. But in order to make stronger coffee like espresso, you need more pressure, and this is a way to do it very inexpensively at home. Once I got the hang of it, it's very easy to use. It's kind of, there's a learning curve, but you don't need anything other than coffee grounds and a stove and water, and yeah, so I like these quite a bit. It's still a little bit more involved than, like, you know, you putting your pot in your Keurig or your Nespresso, or putting your, you know, coffee in your coffee pot. I mean, you got a hot stove to deal with. You got this thing to deal with. There's all kinds of ways. It takes, you know, 5-10 minutes, and you lots of places to burn your hand. So what this video is going to be about is we're going to compare the two that I have. This is the most basic, most standard. Bialetti, I believe, is the company that invented them. They're certainly the company that popularized them. It's an Italian company. This advertises as made in Italy. It says Moka Express. I don't know what's express about it. I did what I normally do when I bought this one, which is just look to see what, you know, out of all the ones that had the best reviews on Amazon, which had the lowest price, and of the ones that were low priced on Amazon, which had the best reviews. And this is, I believe, they referred to this as a 4-cup. I can't remember the way that they talked about cup sizes confused me. I think this was meant to be a 3-cup. And in reality it holds a little bit more than 3 ounces of water. So I guess theoretically it's meant to be 3 1-ounce shots. I don't know. Most espresso shots that I'm used to are an ounce and a half-ish. So this, to me, this is 2 shots of espresso. And then this one, which is the second one that I bought. This one I have the box. The other one did not come with a box because I got like an open box item. This one is supposed to be 2 cups, but it's also 3.3 ounces. It's the exact same amount of fluid. And I bought this one. The reason I bought a second one, this is also Bialetti. This is called the Brikka. And it looks just to be a little fancier version of it. This is a little bit more solid, the base here. Not really any different. So there's water in that one too. I washed these out before I did the video because I wanted to make sure they looked as pristine as possible for their big moment. And the filter's the exact same. These are interchangeable between the two. Same there. And this, first of all, this is open. I would have assumed that you wouldn't want it. You'd want to have it closed the whole time so the heat doesn't escape. But this one's meant to be open. The I don't want to call it a nozzle. The the valve there that the coffee comes out of is different, and it's bigger, and the coffee comes out differently in the fancier one. And the difference is supposed to be, oh, mine's starting to get a little patina. No, that's not patina. That's just ground coffee. So you're not supposed to wash these with anything other than water. You're not supposed to use soap. You're not supposed to scrub them. You're supposed to rinse them out when you're done, because otherwise you'll mess up the aluminum, or aluminium if you're in Europe. So this one, the valve here is supposed to be different in such a way that it produces crema. If you don't know what crema is, when you have an espresso shot, there's like a layer of lighter colored foam on the top. And this is supposed to... Normally, that's one thing that differentiates espresso made in a Moka pot from real espresso, is that there's no crema. But this is supposed to produce crema. So the question is, and this is just supposed to be a better brewing experience overall. And so, theoretically, I don't know enough about coffee to really articulate. I can tell when, I mean, these are real kind of picky. Like, if I get the water right or wrong, I can taste the difference. You know, if I put in a little bit too much water, I can taste the difference. Every pot's a little different. I learned recently that coffee's really not supposed to be bitter. You know, we associate a bitter flavor with it, but really, it's not supposed to be that bitter when really well prepared. And if you keep it too long on the heat, it definitely becomes really bitter. You're supposed to remove these from the heat right away. The other thing about them is there's disagreements on the web as far as what temperature water you start with. A lot of people recommend boiling the water before you put it in here. Some people, the manufacturer says use cold water, I believe, or at least the other one that I had said cold water. This one I never actually looked at. Oh, this one comes with a nice little cup. Oh, I didn't even see that. I can use that. That's very useful. Does it have ounces or just metrics? Oh, this is purely metric. So this for us dumb Americans, this is not really that useful. Let's see here. Once again, for the dumb Americans, most of these are not in English. There's a lot of instructions in other languages. They are not that concerned about the Americans. Not that I blame them. We don't exactly inspire love around the world. Okay, does it say here? Fill it with cold water. Yeah, so the manufacturer wants you to use cold water. James Hoffman, who I believe is the premier coffee expert on YouTube, and I thoroughly enjoy his videos, even though I don't understand what he's saying half the time. says to start with boiling water or hot water. I have sort of compromised, and I use water that is as warm as it will come out of the tap. And we have very hot water. I mean, if you turn our water all the way up and put your hand under it, you will not be happy. Our tap water comes out hot enough to burn you, which is how my wife showers. So, yeah, so I've been compromising and using that. And then the other thing that James and others say to do is immediately when you remove it to heat, from heat, to run it under cold water so it stops brewing. I was always taught never to run like metal pans and other cookware under cold water, that it can damage them. So that, I haven't brought myself to try it yet. I'm going to have to try it at some point because the experts say to do it. But I'm really squeamish about that. So, yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the kitchen, which if you've seen the videos of my house, you know the kitchen is over that way. And we're going to brew not a cup, because this is 2 cups or 3 cups or whatever they call us. We're going to brew a batch of a full order of espresso with this one. And we're going to brew a full, cup, batch, whatever, of espresso with this one. And we're going to see if there's any difference, both in the preparation and how long it takes, as well as me losing my train of thought, as well as if it tastes different, if the resulting product is any different. So I hope this will be interesting for you. Let's go over to the kitchen. Let's do it. Okay, let's go round 1 with the regular Moka Pot. This is going to be pretty unscientific, but that should be good enough. Now, I did turn the burner on about 5 minutes ago. I didn't want that to be a factor in if there's a difference. I wanted to start with the same burner temperature. So this burner is already hot. I don't know if it makes a difference if you start with a hot burner or not, but I normally would see, we're gonna have to get some more coffee out pretty soon. Okay, so this is going to be warm already because of the hot water I put in the base. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 1:57 a.m.
1:57 for reference. Interesting, I didn't expect it to stop. Okay, and then it starts buttering. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 2:01 a.m.
2:01. So that process took roughly 4 minutes. Okay, well let's do this one next. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 2:02 a.m.
2:02. I'll take this opportunity to measure this one. Okay, as you will see, that brewed just a little higher than 3.5. Where's the camera? Ounces of coffee. It's a little more than 3.5. So then I can put it back in the cup. And we'll use this to measure. We'll pour the Moka Pot directly into here. We'll see if it has any crema. Okay, I'm going to guess that's the end of it. And it's interesting because there is definitely crema visible in the pot, but then once you pour the coffee into whatever you drink it out of, unless I was supposed to leave it in there so that would happen. So how much coffee did this brew? Interesting, just above 4 ounces. So this brews negligibly more. Was I supposed to leave it in there for that? I don't see why. That coffee's the... I don't think so. Okay. So, let's see if I can taste the difference. I probably, again, I'm not a coffee snob. I am used to putting milk and syrup in it. But I think I have some idea what these should taste like. I'll let that one cool down a little bit. This one's more bitter. I forgot to check what time to see if that one took longer. So that was not very scientific of me. Maybe I'll put a thing on the screen. They're very close. This one's a little weaker, but also a little less bitter, but they're very, very similar. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this delivers on the promises of anything different. But they both brew good espresso. So, that's it for now. We'll see if I end up doing anything else tonight. Thanks for watching.